But you mentioned Ortiz, Vergil Ortiz. How far is he away? How close is he to a title shot in sharing the ring with Bud Crawford?
I don't know.
As the boxing world eagerly watches the rise of Vergil Ortiz Jr., the buzz surrounding a potential showdown between Ortiz and Terence Crawford grows louder. Ortiz, fresh off a hard-earned victory against serhii bohachuk, remains undefeated and has secured the WBC interim junior middleweight title. Despite this achievement, Ortiz's fight against bohachuk marked the first time he didn't win by knockout, going the full distance and earning a majority decision. This victory opens up new opportunities for the 26-year-old Texan, who has long set his sights on facing the sport's elite. Ortiz wasted no time in calling out Crawford during his post-fight interview, signaling his intent to take on one of boxing's top pound-for-pound fighters. With the highly anticipated clash between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez losing momentum, the path seems clear for a potential bout between Ortiz and Crawford, a matchup that has piqued the interest of many, including Saudi Arabia's influential promoter, Turki Al-Sheikh. Ortiz made a triumphant return to the ring after a 17-month hiatus, quickly dispatching opponents Frederick Lawson and Thomas Delorme earlier this year. His victory over bohachuk was a grueling battle, with both fighters refusing to back down from the opening bell. Ortiz was knocked down twice but displayed relentless determination, focusing on sharp body shots that eventually wore down his Ukrainian opponent. Despite the close nature of the fight, Ortiz's persistence earned him the victory, with two judges scoring the bout in his favor. This victory for Ortiz comes just after Crawford's debut in the light middleweight division, where the Nebraska native claimed the WBA and WBO titles by defeating Israel Madrimov. Crawford has expressed interest in facing Canelo Alvarez, but the Mexican superstar doesn't seem eager for the bout. Alvarez's steep financial demands have led Al-Sheikh to declare that the Crawford-Alvarez fight is off the table, making a unification fight between Ortiz and Crawford a more likely scenario. The boxing community is divided on Ortiz's chances against Crawford. While some believe Ortiz is ready to challenge the sport's best, others are more cautious. For instance, Lou DiBella praised the intense battle between Ortiz and bohachuk, calling it a modern-day classic. However, former champion Paulie Malignaggi expressed concerns, noting that Crawford operates on a different level. Ryan Garcia was even more critical, pointing out flaws in Ortiz's performance and advising him not to project an aura of invincibility. Crawford, known for his high ring IQ and adaptability, would undoubtedly pose a significant challenge for Ortiz. Oscar De La Hoya, Ortiz's promoter, recently weighed in on the potential matchup, asserting that Ortiz possesses better skills than Crawford, particularly when it comes to changing styles and staying elusive. De La Hoya suggested that Crawford, while highly skilled, was exposed in his recent fight against Madrimov, especially when faced with an opponent who didn't stay directly in front of him. Crawford's recent success in the super welterweight division has further fueled speculation about a potential clash with Ortiz. However, Alvarez's dismissive comments about Crawford's abilities and his demand for a massive payday have cast doubt on whether that fight will ever materialize. Crawford, in response, has suggested that Alvarez's reluctance to fight him is a sign that he poses a serious threat to Alvarez's legacy. As Ortiz continues to climb the ranks, his next move could be crucial. With Sebastian Fundora holding 2 titles in the 154-pound division and Tim Chu's return highly anticipated, the light middleweight division is more competitive than ever. Some observers believe that Ortiz would be wise to challenge other reigning champions like Fundora or Bakram Murtazaliyev before facing Crawford. This approach would allow Ortiz to refine his skills and build momentum before taking on one of the sport's most dangerous fighters. Ortiz's recent performance against bohachuk, while impressive, revealed some vulnerabilities that could be exploited by a fighter of Crawford's caliber. His lack of hand speed, in particular, was noticeable and could be a significant disadvantage against a quicker, more technically proficient opponent. Robert Garcia, Ortiz's trainer, remains confident in his fighter's abilities, but even he acknowledges that facing Crawford would be a formidable challenge. Crawford, meanwhile, is nearing the end of his career and is likely looking for a few more lucrative fights before retiring. While Ortiz is a rising star, he may not yet have the star power Crawford needs to secure the kind of financial return he's seeking. Garcia suggests that Ortiz would be a more appealing opponent for Crawford if he first clinched a world title. Ortiz's return to the ring after a lengthy hiatus has been marked by strong performances, but his path to the top will not be easy. He is aiming to fight 3 to 4 times in 2024, with the year's grand finale potentially being a world title fight. Possible opponents include Jermall Charlo and Tim Chu, both of whom would present significant challenges. Despite his success, Ortiz's matchmaking has closely mirrored that of other rising stars, carefully selecting opponents that build his record without exposing him to too much risk. However, as he moves up the ranks, he will need to face tougher adversaries to truly prove himself. Competing against opponents like Lawson and Michael McKinson won't provide the preparation he needs to face fighters like Charlo and Chu. Ortiz's next 3 bouts will be crucial in determining whether he is ready for a showdown with Crawford. If he can secure decisive victories against top-tier opponents, he will be well-positioned to challenge Crawford for the title. However, if he struggles against quicker, more skilled fighters, his path to the top could be more difficult than anticipated. In the meantime, Crawford continues to solidify his legacy, recently claiming a title in his 4th weight class by defeating Madrimov. While Crawford's victory was impressive, some observers, including popular boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult, felt the bout didn't live up to its potential. Showbiz suggested that the fight's disappointing pay-per-view numbers might have hurt Crawford's chances of securing the kind of big-money fights he's seeking in the future. Showbiz also noted that Crawford's performance against Madrimov lost him some of the momentum he had been building, particularly in terms of fan excitement for a potential clash with Canelo Alvarez. With Alvarez focusing on other opponents, Crawford may find himself needing to take on rising stars like Ortiz to maintain his position at the top of the sport. As Ortiz and Crawford continue on their respective paths, the prospect of a showdown between the two becomes more tantalizing. Ortiz's youth, power, and relentless style make him a dangerous opponent for anyone, but Crawford's experience, ring IQ, and adaptability could prove too much for the young Texan. Whether Ortiz is ready to take on such a challenge remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: the light middleweight division is more exciting than ever, and fans can't wait to see what happens next. If Ortiz can continue to build on his recent successes and refine his skills, he may well find himself sharing the ring with Crawford sooner rather than later. And when that day comes, the boxing world will be watching to see if Ortiz can truly rise to the occasion and dethrone one of the sport's most accomplished champions. In the end, the road to greatness is never easy, and Ortiz will need to be at his best if he hopes to achieve his dream of becoming a world champion. Whether he faces Crawford, Charlo, Chu, or another top contender, Ortiz's journey will be one of the most exciting stories to watch in the coming years. And with the support of his promoter, his trainer, and his growing fan base, there's no telling just how far he can go.